want jelly or syrup or anything?
Do you have like a sugar-free syrup by chance?
The breakfast equivalent of ordering a Diet Coke with your Big Mac and large fries.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna come back here at lunch. Not gonna lie, I'm impressed already.
I had a light breakfast.
I'm glad I don't have to take the groceries.
All right, buddy. Let's see if we can do this. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Hey Chew Crew, thanks for joining me in another episode of Glorious Gluttony. I'm here with my favorite son and chief eating strategist, Hungry Henry, and we're in North Liberty, Iowa at J&A Tap. And I'm here to take on their Amanda's Big Breakfast Challenge. And I'm super excited. I've never done a breakfast challenge before, and breakfast is easily one of my top 5 favorite meals of the day. So I'm really looking forward to sinking my teeth into this one. The challenge consists of their large meat lovers omelet, followed up with an order of smothered hash browns. Next up is a full order stack of their fluffy pancakes. Then I have half an order of their biscuits and gravy, and top that all off with a side of toast. I've got 30 minutes to eat all that, and if I can do that and keep it down for 30 minutes afterward, they'll give me the meal for free, and I get a meal card for a free meal on my next visit. If I lose, the cost of the meal is $30. So it's about 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I haven't eaten all day, so let's get inside and break this fast with a big breakfast.
Talking to the restaurant staff, they said this challenge has only been defeated a couple times before. The current record was right around 22 minutes. So I'm going to throw that timer up as well. With this being my first breakfast challenge, I struggled to figure out what the best strategy was to get everything down. Usually my tactic is go for the proteins first, the meats, and then any kind of cheeses or things that are going to be harder to get down, things that are going to require a lot of chewing, saving the carbs for last. That made the first part of this challenge pretty straightforward. Gotta go for that omelet. Not only were there a lot of meats in there, a good amount of cheese, you also got a bunch of eggs in an omelet, obviously. And cold eggs are one of the worst things to eat later on in a challenge. So that was a no-brainer. I went for that omelet and I dug in with both hands. But then the next problem was what to do next. I had said save the carbs for last. The problem is, after that, that's all that was left was carbs. So which one do you start with? On one hand, that stack of pancakes was huge, and I knew if I waited until the very end to eat that much pancake, the flavor, even with the berries, was going to be tough. Then again, those biscuits and gravy were getting colder by the minute, and gravy can get really thick once it starts cooling down. Definitely can't forget about that giant plate of smothered hash browns either. Again, more gravy and cheese. So you got two things that every minute that goes by, they're both cooling down and they are going to get thick, gloopy, congealed, and not enjoyable to get down later in the challenge. So my thought was, well, I've got that side of toast. And by the way, 4 slices of sourdough toast, that is not a side. That is like a whole meal. It's 4 whole slices, and they were big slices. But I figured with all that gravy between the biscuits and gravy and the smothered hash browns, I was going to bounce back and forth to scoop up as much of that gravy while it was still warm with that nice buttery sourdough. So thought mixing and matching, I get some flavor and texture contrast with the crunchiness of the toast and that nice smooth rich gravy and the warm cheese. I'm pretty sure the only thing off their breakfast menu that wasn't on this challenge was their cinnamon rolls, and Henry picked up the slack for me by ordering one for himself. This thing was absolutely massive. It was at least half the size of his head, and that boy's got a Cro-Magnon skull. He finished maybe 2/3 of it, and then we needed a doggy bag to take the rest of it home. Speaking of dogs, have you ever seen a grown man eat out of a dog bowl? Well, if you haven't, you're missing out. At the very end of this video, I put a snippet of someone that decided it'd be a good idea to tackle a food challenge where most of it consists of eating out of a dog bowl. So if you want to see who's that good boy, Stick around to the very end to see if that individual comes out as top dog or if they end up in the doghouse. Got to give a shout out to my little sidekick that joined me for this adventure. Henry brought along his breakfast socks for good luck, so that was definitely a motivator for me to do my best for this challenge. So during our bro date, Henry and I were having what turned into a fairly lively discussion or debate about the best sweet breakfast food. I was hands down saying that cinnamon rolls, if they're made the right way, are the best sweet breakfast treat. Henry was 100% behind donuts, especially donut holes. I bet him a pack of Timbits donuts. We live near a lot of Tim Hortons, so the Timbit donut holes. I bet him a pack of those that more people would say they were on Team Cinnamon Roll than Team Donut Hole, and he disagreed. So let us know down in the comments which side you're on, Team Donut Hole or Team Cinnamon Roll. Not a fan of either. Maybe French toast is your thing. Maybe it's Danish. Either way, let us know. I was only about 7 minutes into the challenge and I was still feeling really good, but it was right about this time that the heaviness of the pancakes, despite how fluffy they were, started sitting in my stomach like a ball of lead shot. Given at this point I'd already had that big omelet and I was halfway through these biscuits and gravy, which were ridiculously good. But it was right about this time that I was starting to feel the heaviness of all those carbs starting to expand in my stomach. And I was starting to get really concerned because I still had probably close to 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds worth of food, and half of that was super thick gravy. So I really leaned into that sourdough toast, which was perfectly buttered. It actually reminded me of a little kid growing up. I'd have buttered toast almost every morning, and it would just hit the nostalgia button real hard. So that definitely helped push me through as I was getting through that very thick, very rich gravy. While this gravy was nice and thick, it had nothing on the viscosity of the milkshakes I did in St. Louis. If you haven't seen the video, the Crown Candy Kitchen Challenge is almost a full gallon of milkshake, and these were thick with 2 C's. Adam Richmond from Man vs. Food attempted this challenge and failed miserably. So if you want to see how I fared, or you just like milkshakes, this is the challenge for you to watch. So click the link in the upper right hand corner to see how I did. At long last, I finally made it to my 5th and final plate, or at least focusing on it. I tasted a little bit of the smothered hash browns earlier in the challenge, and I liked it quite a lot. It was a lot of that same gravy that was with the biscuits and gravy, but they had a bunch of melted cheddar cheese on it, which went so well with the nice crispy hash browns. So you can see I pretty much peeled off all the toppings on the loaded hash browns, but there was still a little bit left from the biscuits and gravy. So made sure that there was no doubt that that 4th plate was cleaned before jumping into the last of these hash browns. While all of the food was pretty much in my stomach at this point, the one lingering thought I had was, what do I do with the 30 minutes that I have to sit in my seat? I mentioned earlier in the video that I had to sit in the seat and not reverse anything I had consumed from the challenge. Talking to the staff, I was surprised to learn that more people have failed this challenge by throwing up in that 30-minute window after eating everything than people that actually didn't even eat all the food in the first place, which I thought was pretty surprising. So I got to spend a good half hour just sitting there chatting with my little buddy and celebrating.
Wow, that was amazing. So many carbs, so delicious, so buttery. We had a great time. The food was absolutely spectacular. 10 minutes, 40-ish seconds to get everything down. As they were bringing the plates out, I was really concerned, especially that mountain of pancakes. The video does not do it justice. Those 3 pancakes were smothered in blueberries and strawberries, and I instantly thought to myself, I made a poor life decision and shouldn't have added that kicker to the already massive challenge. But fortunately, my appetite was as big as my eyes were. So for finishing in under the 30-minute time limit and keeping it down for 30 minutes, I got the meal for free, and I have a meal ticket that I can redeem for a free meal. So stay tuned because I'll be back. Absolutely awesome experience here at the J&A Tap. The service was fantastic, really entertaining, really supportive. The atmosphere is pretty cool inside. Great place to come for food and drinks. So as always, stay hungry and I'll catch you in the next one.
Are you done?
Yeah, I had a few bites of the cinnamon rolls.
Oh my goodness. Glutton for punishment.
I know, right?
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's done. And then he got a couple bites of the kid's cinnamon roll.
He offered, I'm not mean.
Is a sandwich.
Fries are perfect. Love that they're in a dog bowl.
Who's a good boy?
The things I'll do for a free t-shirt.